Hey guys, today we're going to be trying to reduce the amount of noise coming out of my dust collection system. We'll try a few different things, see what works, what doesn't work. Hopefully we'll learn something along the way. So before we get started, let me just explain a little bit about my dust collection system. If you haven't seen the videos in the past, what we have here is a 2 horsepower Harbor Freight dust collector unit, which I've converted it into a 2-stage cyclone separator. This is homemade. I had this made up from a piece of sheet metal from a local plasma cutting sheet metal place. You can watch the video on how I made this. And all it does is it separates the dust down into this 55-gallon drum, which I converted into a dust collection drum. The unit used to go through the wall here and vent outside, but since insulating the garage, I've converted it to run a pipe up here to the top of this filter, and that's where all the air coming out of the dust collection system gets filtered out and returned to the shop. So we're not wasting the climate-controlled air. Anyways, this system is insanely efficient. I basically have no dust in this filter ever. I don't know why it works that good, especially since it's homemade, but it does, no complaints. Anyways, in order to get started doing this, let's first introduce the sound meter, which I think is actually called the decibel meter. We'll get a baseline reading before I do anything at all, and we'll see where we stand. So you can see I've got the decibel meter set up on this block of wood, which is, roughly around head height where your ears are gonna be. And we're gonna have this set up in the exact same location for every test. It's more or less in the middle of the shop, facing towards the dust collection system. So we'll get our baseline reading over here and all of our other readings from the same spot. And we're also gonna be opening the router table blast gate for all the tests. So we're always getting air suction from over there. Let's go get that done. So again, if you guys are unfamiliar with my dust collection system, you can go ahead and watch the video where I set it all up. But basically, I have this block here set up to hit a limit switch, which will control a relay. This is a low voltage circuit controlling the high voltage circuit, which will turn on the dust collector at every one of my blast gates. When I open all of them, the dust collector turns off. So let's go ahead and get our baseline reading. So there's our baseline reading, around 79 decibels. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, why are we trying to sound deaden this at all? Aren't your tools louder than that? Yes, they are, and you don't really notice it because you're wearing hearing protection all the time anyways. However, it is annoying when you're going around using the vacuum end and just cleaning up the shop, things like that, or when you're running the dust collection between tool use. You really don't need that extra noise. So any little bit will help, and I want to try to do it anyways. The way we're going to accomplish this is I bought this peel and stick soundproofing material. It's about 1/4 inch thick. It comes in a sheet of about 4 feet by 6 feet for like $50 or so. And my plan is to take this stuff and stick it to every metal surface around here. This piece here, this piece, and the pipe going up to the filter. Now we're gonna do this kind of one piece at a time, see what piece actually matters, measure it at each stage. Hopefully we see a difference. If not, I did buy a sheet of Sonopan sound deadening material, and if worse comes to worse, I'm gonna try to enclose this whole filter area with the Sonopan, and that better work. Anyways, let's get this guy cleaned up, wipe off all the dust, and start sticking our sound deadening material on there. Okay, so you see we got the cyclone fully wrapped. I used the measurements from actually making the cyclone, and then I had to cut it into 2 pieces to get both sides just to deal with that whole sticky back thing. But yeah, it's on there. Let's go ahead, run the test. Okay, so as you can see, that did nothing. If anything, it got worse. I mean, it didn't actually get worse. That thing is only good to plus or minus 1.5 dB, so it's basically the same. So let's go ahead and get the rest of this stuff all covered in that soundproofing material and see if that helps. Well, there it is. It's all wrapped up all the way up to the top underneath the blower housing. Everything I could possibly get to. It's not pretty, but hey, it might work. Let's find out if I wasted 50 bucks. Okay, so it got louder. I don't really understand why the hell it got louder, but apparently it did. It sounded the same to me. I guess it's not that much of a difference, but if you guys know what the hell is going on, go ahead and leave a comment, because this makes no goddamn sense to me. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and build like a little enclosure out of that Sonopan sound deadening material, and I'll meet you back here. So as you guys saw, this material is relatively easy to cut with just simply an X-Acto knife and a straight edge. Now what I've done is I've installed a sheet on the front here and the side there with just a few screws into the wooden frame that's holding up the canister filter, as well as I've added a piece of wood in the upper corner there just to join the two pieces so they're not flopping around. Now I haven't installed a piece on this side, the top or bottom, and there is about a 1/4 inch worth of air gap around where it meets the walls. And that's simply because I want to let, the filter still breathe. We can't restrict all the airflow coming out of it. Anyways, this is where we're at right now. Let's test it and see how well this stuff works. So there you have it, the results are in. We have a net loss of 3 dB on average, adding the Sonopan material around the exhaust filter up here. I'm still not entirely sure if this has done nothing or increased the volume. It's really strange. Let me know in the comments again what you think's going on here. In my mind, honestly, this didn't seem like it was worth it at all. And just go for putting some soundproofing material around your exhaust. That seems to be what really helps. So hopefully you guys learned something. I know I learned that this Sonopan material is amazing. And yeah, see you on the next one.